Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea, a framework called the two lines of life. It's one of those concepts that's so simple, yet it can completely shift how you look at everything. It's not just about what you do, but about who you're actually becoming. And honestly, getting a handle on this might just change how you see, well, everything.
So let's start with a question that I think we've all wrestled with at some point. Why is it that the more we chase after happiness, the more it seems to just slip away? You know that feeling? Why does the constant pursuit of feeling good so often end up making us feel exhausted and kind of empty?
Well, there's a name for that feeling. It's called the unhappiness trap. And it's this trap that so many of us fall into without even realizing it. It's that nonstop chase for the next thing. The better job, more money, the perfect partner, all built on this idea that once we get that one thing, we'll finally be happy. But it never quite works out that way, does it?
To really understand this trap, let's visualize it. Think of your life as a line, the horizontal line. This is the timeline we all know. It starts at birth, it ends at death, and it's filled with all the stuff that happens to us. The events, the achievements, the good times, the bad times, the whole shebang.
Now, living on this horizontal line is where we make a huge mistake. We start to confuse real, deep happiness with temporary satisfaction. See, satisfaction is just a quick hit our ego gets when we achieve a goal or buy something new. It feels great for a moment, but it's a sugar rush. It fades. True happiness, that's something else entirely. It's an internal state, it's lasting, and it has nothing to do with what you just accomplished. And so we get stuck on this kind of psychological treadmill. It goes something like this. We get the job, and for a little while we feel great. But that feeling fades. So what's next? Okay, gotta get the car. Then find the perfect partner. Each goal we hit just becomes a launch pad for the next desire. And we never ever feel like we've actually arrived. There's no lasting peace there. The scariest part of living this way, it makes us incredibly fragile. When our whole life is just on that horizontal line, our sense of well-being is completely dependent on what happens outside of us. A little bit of praise makes us feel like we're on top of the world, but one tiny criticism can send us spiraling. We basically become puppets, and anyone with a strong opinion can pull our strings. Okay, so that's the problem. But what if there's another way? What if there's a whole other dimension to our lives that we've been missing? Well, this is where we introduce the solution, the vertical line. It's this hidden path that cuts right through our horizontal life of just doing things. This vertical line represents our level of being. Now, that might sound a little abstract, but it's actually really simple. It's not about what you know or what you have. It's about who you are in any given moment. It's the depth of your awareness, your consciousness. And here's the kicker. Real, meaningful growth doesn't come from piling more stuff onto the horizontal line. It comes from raising yourself up on the vertical one. Let's make this super clear. The horizontal path is all about knowing, gathering facts, learning skills, collecting information. The vertical path is about being, deepening your inner wisdom and your awareness. You've probably met people like this, right? Someone who is a walking encyclopedia, knows everything about everything, but has a really low level of being. They get angry easily, they're anxious. Knowing a lot and being a lot are two totally different things. And this is just a fascinating, almost shocking way to think about the challenge ahead of us. For the average person, something like 97% of our consciousness is basically on autopilot, completely hijacked by our ego's automatic reactions, our old habits, our fears, our knee-jerk desires. That leaves just a tiny 3% that's actually free, present, and aware. The whole point of working on the vertical path is to start reclaiming that other 97%. So, we've got the horizontal line of events and the vertical line of being. The real magic happens when they meet. That intersection, that's where life gets truly transformative. We can call that meeting point a psychological crossroads. And in our day-to-day lives, it usually shows up as a crisis. Losing your job, going through a brutal breakup, a massive failure. But when you look at it through this framework, a crisis stops being just a disaster. It becomes a powerful opportunity. It's like life is hitting the pause button and forcing you to look around. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? That crisis, that stop, is your chance to wake up. You have a choice. You can use that moment of shock to look inward, to question your old patterns, and to consciously work on raising your level of being. Or you can just ignore the signal, get back on the treadmill, and go right back to sleep. So how do we actually choose to wake up when we hit one of these crossroads? Well, it turns out life gives us a kind of curriculum.
It comes in the form of 4 tests of consciousness that show up again and again, each one designed to challenge our ego and give us a chance to grow.
First up is the test of fire. This is all about how you deal with insults and criticism. The ego's knee-jerk reaction is to fight back, to get defensive. But the real work, the vertical work, is to maintain your inner calm, to use that heat not to react, but to observe yourself and ask, what part of me is feeling so hurt right now and why? Your job is serenity.
Next, we have the test of air, which is all about loss and detachment. Look, life is going to take things from you. People you love, possessions you cherish. That's a given. The crucial insight here is that the deep suffering doesn't come from the loss itself, but from how desperately we cling to things. So the task here is to practice acceptance, to learn the incredibly difficult art of letting go. Then there's the test of water. This represents all the big problems, the adversity, the moments when it feels like the boat of your life is just sinking. The question is, what do? Do you freeze up and resist, or do you become like water itself, fluid, flexible, adaptable? Your task is to learn to swim with the current, not fight against it. And finally, the test of earth. This is about your social environment. Can you move through any situation with any group of people from the very poor to the very rich without losing who you are? Can you fit in without becoming a clone? And can you do it all without judging others? The task here is to stay completely authentic to your true self, no matter where you are. So, let's just pull all of this together. The big idea is that your life isn't just one flat line of events. It's got 2 dimensions. There's the horizontal line, where chasing satisfaction is a never-ending trap, and then there's the vertical line, where you find true happiness and growth by raising your level of being. Suddenly, life's challenges aren't just bad luck anymore. They're tests. They're a curriculum designed to help us wake up. And that leaves us with one last really crucial thought. That crossroads we talked about, it's not some big dramatic event waiting for you in the future. It's happening right now. It's in how you choose to respond to the next frustrating email, to the next conversation, to this very moment. The choice between the horizontal and the vertical is always available. So the only real question is, which path are you going to choose?